Hey there friendos, Newbornkilik here, welcoming you back to, finally, yet another Zelda Theory. Now today we're going to be taking a look at the letter in a bottle, colloquially known by the community as Ruto's letter. Now of course it is assumed that Ruto wrote this letter, but did she? Well, that's what we're going to be looking at today. We'll be starting off with a bit weaker of a theory, but the second theory I think may very well become your new headcanon. These two ideas were brought up during a live stream we did of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time No Turn Challenge. So if you're interested in that, check out the gameplay channel where you can find the VODs. I suppose we should start off with what is the letter in a bottle. The letter in the bottle is an item, a quest item, in the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, supposedly written by Princess Ruto, basically as her plea to help, the way of her letting somebody know that she is actually stuck inside of Lord Jabu Jabu. Ruto's letter reads as such: "Please help me, I'm waiting for you inside of Lord Jabu Jabu's belly, Ruto. P.S. Please don't tell my father, because reasons." She just wants to keep things from her father, I think, is the main problem. She actually tells you that later when you become engaged, but I just don't think she likes her father. When confronted about the letter, Ruto claims to have absolutely no idea what we're talking about with this letter. Of course, she could be deceiving us because she just wants us to go away. Real IRL problems, am I right? Try to talk to ladies, am I right, my gentlemen? Ruto's dialogue is as follows. "You? Who are you? I'm Ruto, Princess of the Zoras." "What? Are you saying my father asked you to come here to save me? I never asked anyone to do such a thing." "Letter in a bottle. I have no idea what you're talking about. My father's worried about me, I don't care. Anyway, I can't go home right now, and you get out of here, understand?" So the kind and gentle first words of a princess to her savior, and later fiancé. You know, it is what it is. It's possible that she's bluffing at this point. Maybe she actually does know about this letter, but my other question is, if it was from Princess Ruto, how in the world would she have gotten it outside of Lord Jabu Jabu? I suppose there's nothing specifically saying that she's actually trapped in there, as she is looking for the spiritual stone of water, and refuses to leave without it, but the fact of the matter is that she was actually swallowed against her will, so it's kind of under the assumption that she is stuck, but isn't stuck. It's hard to tell, because Link can definitely walk out of Lord Jabu Jabu whenever he wants, so can't Ruto just do the same and ask for some help? A little too proud, that one, I suppose. My other issue with Ruto writing this letter comes with the idea of it actually getting all the way to Lake Hylia without anybody noticing? Like, I mean, there's some pretty thin spots in Zora's domain. You'd think that if it did run all the way through Zora's domain and down into Lake Hylia, that at some point somebody would have noticed. I suppose the alternative is that it may have slipped through the fence here, but I don't know about that one. So okay, we've rattled on long enough about the problems with Princess Ruto writing the letter. How did it get there? Why wouldn't she just ask for help if she's able to leave? Is she able to leave? If she's able to leave, why would she have written the letter in the first place? Why would she claim to have no idea about this letter? Where would she get a bottle inside of Lord Jabu Jabu? I guess it did say that she was probably feeding Lord Jabu Jabu, so she may have had a bottle with a fish in it. I'll give her that one. Congratulations, you won this round, Ruto. Good work. One of the ideas that we came up with on stream is that Hibora Gebora actually wrote the letter. I mean, he is basically assumed to be the Sage of Light and kind of has this omnipotent feeling about him. At the very least, it does seem like he knows a lot of what's going on and maybe kind of trying to poke and prod Link into the proper direction. Personally, I don't really like this theory. I don't know how you're going to write a letter with the talons of an owl, but hey, you know, weirder stuff has happened. Any bird that can do that whole turning its head upside down thing is untrustworthy at best. Idea number 2, and this is the idea that Ganondorf was actually the one that wrote the letter. This is a theory / idea that really clicked directly into place with me. I mean, Ruto claims to have no idea about this letter, let alone the means to actually write the letter inside of Lord Jabu Jabu, which is when she would have had to have written it, because where are you gonna find ink? Where are you gonna find a pen? Unless it's written in blood, in which case, weird and unsanitary. Stop. The biggest part about this is that Ganondorf has a rather large stake in us finding the final spiritual stone. If you recall, Ganondorf actually tries to get the 3 spiritual stones through force, so the only other way that he's going to get it after he essentially pisses off everyone else is by manipulation. Manipulation of who, you might ask? Well, a little old boy named Link. Ganondorf states, "As I thought, you held the keys to the door of time. You led me to the gates of the sacred realm. Yes, I owe it all to you, kid." Bear in mind, I believe this happens as you open the door of time, which is directly after you obtain the third spiritual stone. Link and Ganondorf's interests at the beginning of the game are relatively similar. It really comes from a lack of communication, essentially, that would lead Ganondorf to getting what he wants. When Link opens the door of time with the 3 spiritual stones, he actually opens the door to the Master Sword and to the sacred realm itself, allowing Ganondorf to bypass the doors of time and grab the Triforce, only somewhat successfully. But if you know about Zelda lore, you know that it splits into 3 pieces, and that's kind of when everyone gets their, Triforce pieces, is at the moment that he touches it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, read up on it. It's a great read, but that's not what we're here for. Ganondorf even goes as far as to say in the final battle with him that he did underestimate us. This does kind of imply that at some point he allowed us ground that we maybe shouldn't have had. Perhaps that ground that he allowed us to have and underestimated us with was allowing us to collect the Master Sword. The Blade of Evil's Bane, the one thing that can kill him, the thing he probably really should have avoided in the first place. But again, that is what underestimating means. He let us collect that and was like, whatever, I will eliminate this fool in due time, don't worry about it. Now we all know how that ended. As a side note, little mini theory, I think it's interesting that he has this idea, this underestimation. However, there is a timeline leading out of Ocarina of Time where the hero does fall, so he did not underestimate us in that timeline. The next part of my script just says bullet point F. So, now as I'm not exactly trying to present this as the end-all be-all, this was definitely written by Ganondorf, I'm going to present the other side of the argument as well. I can only really think of one kind of point that I haven't touched on yet, and that's the fact that at the end of the letter it says, P.S. don't tell my father. This is something that Ruto is known to say, as we had mentioned earlier. Why would Ganondorf have written this little part in? Why would anyone but Ruto have written this P.S. don't tell my father? That to me is kind of the hole in this theory. However, I could easily see Ganondorf just writing this in to make it a little bit more believable, given that we've known this woman for all of maybe 30 or 40 minutes, and she's told us this twice. Very possible that this is kind of one of her traits, so to speak, and she just says it a lot, so including this in the letter could add to its believability. Anyway, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I do hope that you enjoyed these 2 little theories here about the letter in a bottle, or Ruto's letter, if you will. Thank you so much, Zara Avin, for subscribing with notifications turned on. If you'd like your chance at a shout out in a future video, at me on Twitter with a screenshot of your notification for your chance at being featured in a future video. Anyway, I'm Newbornkilik, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out.